No person said, oh, let me show you my recipe. This is my sauce. Bullshit. What happened is they did something different that day, because I think we went back and it wasn't as good, and we were right. It was a mistake sauce. But wow, I remember that. Let me see what else I have here. Pardon me while I whip this out. This I'm just putting in because it's a thing about pizza, so I thought I'd put it in. The two worst pizzas I ever experienced in my life was on a family vacation in 1978 in San Francisco. So horrible, in fact, that 30 years later when I went there with a friend and he said, oh, I think I'm going to get pizza. I said, don't get pizza. I told him about 30 years ago. That's how bad it was. And he didn't. San Francisco is perhaps my favorite place, but their pizza is so bad, at least it was. And then the other place is Whole Foods. Whole Foods has the worst pizza I've ever had in my life. It's terrible. All right, let me move on. Yeah. Oh, I love this. This is great. This is what life's all about. Is this really what life's all about? No, I don't think so. Hold on. Okay. Now, this next pizza, I have to tell you that this next pizza is very near and dear to my heart. Hold it. I missed a pizza. Did I miss... I'm sorry, I don't mean to be crazy here. Yeah, I missed a pizza. Am I nuts? How could I have done that? It's a good thing I caught myself. All right. Let me go to this pizza, then I'm going to go to the one that's near and dear to my heart. Okay, so there's a pizza. All right. When we moved to Long Island from Queens, we discovered, my family and I, a pizza place in Hicksville that was just simply out of this world. It was called Dante's Pizza. It looked like a house. It was in a horrible location. Not dangerous, but dangerous where you had to park. It was on a main road, Woodbury Road. And the cars were flying by, and there wasn't a parking lot. It wasn't like, oh here, pull into the parking lot safely, get out, and get your pizza. No. It was like, oh, there's really no parking. You have to park on the street. And watch out when you open the door, because you could get killed. It was that type of thing. I'm just mentioning this because I'm thinking it's coming back. And so it was horrible parking. You had to park in front if you were lucky to get a spot. And then it was sort of like, it looked like a house. And you walked in, and the people looked very Italian, which was a good sign. I mean, they looked really Italian. And you ordered your pizza, and when you got home, and you got your pizza, by the way, getting in the car was a trick not to get killed, but then you had to make a U-turn on this crazy road because, you know, I'm just saying, you probably said, why is this guy bringing this up? Because it was worth it. It was worth dying for. Anyhow, this pizza, in its own little way, not really like, yeah, in its own little way, was the single greatest pizza I've ever had in my whole life, possibly to this day. It was really thin. The sauce was not to be believed. It led with the sauce. So it wasn't like, oh yeah, and we have, no. The sauce was the main subject. It went down so easy, you almost like were surprised. Like, holy shit, did I just eat that fast? Can I possibly have put that in? It was the type of pizza where each person had 4 to 6 slices because they were fairly small, quite thin, and beautifully done with the sauce. And I remember we used to pair it with, I think, Budweiser beer. It was incredible. It was the days of the 70s where you would watch the Mary Tyler Moore Show on the first run. You'd have the pizza and the beer. It was just not to be believed. Dante's Pizza, sadly enough, it's no longer there. And when I try to Bing it, I can't even get an image on. So it's sad. Now let me go to This other pizza that I'm referring to, this next pizza was so good. This next pizza was so good that it stopped me in my tracks. Hold it, I'm getting too excited. Let me sit here like this, nicely, like a baby, and talk like this, very calmly. Okay, so here's the story on this next pizza. Have you ever heard of the expression a one-off? This was a one-off. It wasn't like the type of thing where, oh, I kept coming back. No. I used to play a lot of pool. So we're looking at the late 90s, and there was one time where we had to play on the league, and it was going to be in a very remote part of Long Island. And it was going to be at night. I think it was like around midnight, a very remote part of Long Island where I couldn't remember how the hell to get to. It was called Huntington, the town, and it was like in a field and then off of a dirt road and then around the back, and it was late at night, and so it wasn't the type of thing where, oh, I could find it easily the next day. No. This was it. So we go in, it was like a little nice quaint bar. It was whatever. And we're playing pool, and then some guy orders a personal pie. I looked at the personal pie, and pizza you could tell with your eyes. Pizza you could tell with your eyes. Anyhow, the pie was so dainty, so small, and so thin. I said, fuck it, let me have one. So I said, let me have one. And so they made me a pie, and it was like $1 or $2. It was like really, so it comes out, the pizza, each individual slice is as thick as a credit card. And you go to bite it, and it was not only delicious, but it was dainty. Here's something I wanted to talk about. Yeah, let me... the best food in the world to me is dainty, it's cute, it's small. It's dainty, it's cute, and it's small. Okay? Now you might say, well, what are you talking about? What? I'm not talking about. I'm not really talking about looks. Like, oh, please, I must have a dainty, cute, and small piece of pizza. I love the way it looks. No, I'm not talking about that. It tastes better when something's done very delicately, very simply, very daintily, very cute. It goes, and you're, oh, this is good. Let me give you an example, because I love giving examples. I love talking and pontificating. One moment. Okay. Wait. Wasn't I going to give you an example of dainty, small? Where was I going with this? What happened? What was I thinking? I don't remember what the hell I wanted to say. But anyhow, this pizza was incredible, and I never went back because I couldn't find it, but I'll always remember it. So, and also what I wanted to point out is your taste buds change throughout the day. Throughout the day, your taste buds will change. In the height of the day, noon, 1 o'clock, your taste buds sort of suck. They're like, oh yeah, right, nice, food, whatever. But between 11 at night and 2 in the morning, your taste buds are alive. They're like, give me anything. And so you will find, for instance, White Castle at high noon tastes decent, but White Castle at 2 in the morning is God. So anyhow, yeah, so this was incredible pizza. Now, let me move on because, so anyhow, one of my favorite pizzas ever was in Queens, New York, on Bell Boulevard, no longer there, and the name was Casciano's, or Casciano's, or Cascani, it doesn't matter, it's no longer there. Anyhow, I used to park illegally for the pizza. There was no parking in Queens. So I would pull up to a drugstore, park in the parking lot, and then walk through the drugstore, pretend I wanted to get something, then walk through the other side, cross the street, and go to the pizza place. Now let me tell you something about this pizza place. This pizza place brought me back to when I was 4 at the first pizza place, the Pizza Den. They took it back. They took it to where it belongs. I walked in and I saw sitting there pizza from 1934. It was amazing. And so people might say, what? What are you, crazy? No, I'm not crazy. The older the pizza, the better it tastes. Let me explain something to you. You could tell what pizza looks like, what it's going to taste like by its looks. If you go into a pizza place and the pizza is shiny, get the hell out. Just leave. Just say, I'll be back. Shiny pizza means it was just made. It's fresh, it's hot, and it's horrible. You want to go into a place like this place in Queens and look at the pizza and notice, oh wow, this has no shine. This pizza has been dead for hours on end. This pizza is dull. This pizza has no shine, it has nothing. No reflection, it's dead. It's been sitting there since 11 this morning. No one bothered with it. That's the pizza you want. So I'd say to the guy, do me a favor, take that pizza, put it in the oven for 16 seconds. So they take it, put it in the oven, and we would both stand there and count down together. And then at the 16-second mark, I would say, okay, please remove it. They'd remove it surgically, they'd put it on the plate. I would touch it with my index finger to double check. It would be almost warm, but not quite. In other words, the proper temperature is not cold, but not even really warm. Sort of warm. Perfect. I would take it with a little Diet Coke on the side, sit down, and take the hot peppers and put a little on. And then I would sit there and enjoy it like you wouldn't believe. I would enjoy it like you wouldn't believe, because it was taking me back to when I was an infant, number one, but more importantly, the flavor. A pizza should be simple. Pizza should be simple. Food should be simple. Okay? Maybe this is but grilled cheese at a diner, well-made garlic bread, shit like this. Food that's very simple, very cute, very dainty, I'm not one personally for what they do on the Food Network. Oh, and Lacey, tell us what you're making. I'm making a burger with prosciutto and parsley leaves with a little bit of dusting of duck eggs, and then I'm going to take this vinegar and drizzle it on the bun, and then I'm going to make a round toasty thing. You're missing the point. The point is to make everything so beautifully simple that you just go, wow, this is incredible. All right, let me see here why I'm ranting on. Okay, all right. So now this brings me to the end. Well, almost the end. Let me say, yeah, okay, right. Two more pizza places to go. One is if you're ever in West Palm Beach Airport, there's a place called Nick's Tomato Pies. They're fantastic. They're small, they're thin, great sauce, and it's amazing. A great way to kill some time between planes. And it's only there. It's fantastic. So that I wanted to say. And also, I wanted to say there was a place in Wake Forest, North Carolina, on South Main Street called Rosati's. It originally started in Chicago, which is another aficionado place with pizza. They're known for their deep dish. I had their deep dish. It's very good. But I don't want to go into it because I wouldn't know how to properly critique it, because I'm not from Chicago and I can't say, well, this pizza compared to that one. No, I don't know deep dish pizza that well. From what I tasted, it's quite good. But now let me go into two different pizzas that I had from Rosati's, and one of them was known as Double Dough, which was a different way of making it, and they're the only ones that do it. And the Double Dough is nice, Immediately when I looked at it, because you could look at pizza and say, I know what, I looked at it and I said it was puffy and cheesy. So people that like puffy and cheesy, you'll love this. I'm not much of a puffy, cheesy guy, and the crust at the end was a little weird. It was like rope, okay? It was a little weird. But what I did was I looked at it and I said, you know what this needs? Russian dressing and French dressing. It's true. There are some people that are sauce nuts. Kelsey Grammer, the actor, the late Anna Nicole Smith, they took pizza and they dipped it in dressings. I love doing that with certain pizzas. Certain pizzas need either extra sauce, they need sometimes nothing, just a little hot pepper, and then other times, depending on how they look, the puffiness ratio. So with this, I used Russian dressing and French dressing, and it was really damn good. Now let me get to the last pizza. It was from Rosati's, which I would urge you to ask for Doug Smith, known as Smitty. And once again, that's Rosati's, R-O-S-A-T-I''S, in Wake Forest on South Main Street. This pizza was out of this world. It is the thin crust pizza from Rosati's. Here's the story on this. I ordered the thin crust pizza, and this guy who owns it, Smitty, who's incredible, very professional, a perfectionist, knows his pizza, very proud. He took the pizza pie after much care and overseeing, and he took the pizza pie, very carefully opens the cover and presents it to me and says, "What do you think?" Very proudly. And I look at it, and of course, you know, I taste pizza with my eyes. How many times am I going to say that? I look at it, it looked great, except it was lacking something. Lacking? Yes, it was lacking. It was lacking extra sauce. So I said, I hate to bother you, but could you put extra sauce on it? He said, yeah, no problem. I said, what type of sauces do you have? He said, I have two sauces. I have regular sauce and I have chunky. And I looked at it, I said, this needs chunky. And then I told him the amount. And people, I want to tell you something. It's very important. Listen to this carefully. If it was tons and tons and tons of sauce, the sauce would have took over the pizza and it wouldn't have been good. If it was a little bit of chunky sauce, it wouldn't have been good because you would have craved more sauce. So I said, okay, here's what I want. I want chunky sauce, but I want it where it's a decent amount, meaning, you know, you look at it and you say, hey, that's a decent amount. In other words, not covering it completely, but not a couple of things here and there. More than medium, okay, where you could see little bits of cheese coming through. So he obliged me and did it perfectly. I looked at it, I said, that's perfect. All right, I took my pizza home, and let me tell you something. This pizza was amazing. This pizza was not true thin pizza. Let me explain. True thin pizza is thin, it's dainty, it's cute. This was sort of like saying to the company that makes the space shuttle, excuse me, but could you make me a compact car? It was like that. In other words, this was the real deal. It was small, it was cute, but it wasn't true thin pizza in a good way. When you bite into this, every element of it was very well done. Not talking about how long it was in the oven, but I'm talking about the quality. The cheese, the dough, the chunky sauce, everything you could taste, and it had its own little place, yet it was harmonically put together. I would suggest if you're having a party of any sorts, order about 30 pies of the thin crust from Rosati's, but you must ask for chunky sauce on top and tell them Bernie sent you. Amazing, amazing stuff. Really fantastic. And let me just double check my notes here. Let me just... Right, I apologize. Oh, yeah, okay, I think that's it. So everybody have a nice holiday, even though there isn't a holiday coming up. I thought I'd end it like that. And remember, when you have your pizza, treat it like